twice. Do it right. Rely on Ramjet. Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
South Carolina schools are receiving millions of dollars to bolster safety in schools. More on that program and its future coming up next. But first, 14 adults and 1 juvenile in jail in Jefferson County after an investigation into money, drugs, and guns. Multiple police agencies made the arrest of these people, all from Rennes. Then a grand jury said that there was enough evidence to indict a total of 20 people.
Our Taylor Martin joins us now live in our newsroom with more on an investigation we first told you about yesterday. Taylor, talk to us about how this might not be the end of it.
Yes, we're told they have intel on dozens of others in the city that haven't even been mentioned yet. Some more charges are coming. Authorities say the investigation started with a string of shootings back in July, but crimes date back to August of 2022. The charges include multiple counts of aggravated assault, various gun-related charges, Georgia State Gang Act, as well as the Racketeer Influence and Corruption Organization, or the Georgia RICO Act. Friends Police Chief John Maynard says much of the investigation boils down to this video we got off of YouTube. It was posted in September of 2022, and if you take a look, you'll see guns, drugs, and money flash multiple times throughout the video. And authorities say this is exactly what they were looking for in terms of gang activity.
They're publicly professing a gang. It's not just family hanging out together, and they gave themselves a name. You don't do that just hanging out with your family.
5 more people to round out this round of indictments. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're hearing more about how these crimes are impacting the lives of people in the community and how it's hindering their ability to be at peace in their own home.
Thank you, Taylor. A lot of arrests, and of course, we look forward to that update coming up at 6 o'clock.
Well, weather-wise today, it's been a little bit warmer than average, a few passing clouds at times, and also a little bit breezy, all thanks to a cold front that's going to be pushing in. This is going to keep our winds elevated over the next couple of days, really starting to notice the wind by Wednesday, but also dropping our temperatures a little bit. We're going to drop to seasonal temperatures by tomorrow, and then actually a little bit cooler than average Wednesday and Thursday. Here's a live look from our Aiken County Weather Stem camera. You can see a beautiful look at sunset here. We have mostly clear skies, just a few of these high-level clouds passing by at the moment, and that will generally stay mostly clear for the rest of tonight. Temperature has been able to get as warm as 70 in a few spots. We're currently at 65 there in Aiken, as that sun does get a little bit lower into the sky and still hanging on to a wind just above 10 miles an hour. Here's a look at those current temps. So still at 68 in Evans, same thing here in Augusta. Saluda, you're at 67. In Waynesboro, you're currently at 66 degrees. Stepping out this evening, we'll stay in the 50s, eventually working our way into the 40s, and then by daybreak tomorrow morning, we should be anywhere from the upper 30s to low 40s across the region. So a little bit of a chill to wake up to early Tuesday. Have a look at some cooler temps in that full forecast in just a bit. Let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's a live look down I-20 just outside the building, looking at eastbound, westbound lanes, and actually not really any headaches out there at the moment. So if you are crossing the state line, looks to be good to do that at the moment. Looking at exit 190 there in Grovetown next, you can see we're hitting the golden hour. That sun definitely hitting those treetops. Not really seeing slow-moving traffic too much there on Lewiston Road, and just the usual backup off the exit. Have an update on some cooler temps heading our way later in the week in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Millions of dollars are heading to schools across South Carolina. They're to ensure students and staff stay safe.
And the state superintendent wants to see more money put towards this focus. Our State House reporter Mary Green has more.
Lawmakers put $20 million in this year's state budget for school facility safety upgrades. When the Department of Education opened up this pot of money for districts to apply for it, it received nearly $38 million in requests.
Quite frankly, some areas need the extra security. And this funding, certainly the priority is for districts that really need the assistance.
The money is going to more than 40 traditional school districts, plus several charter schools and the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Every district that applied is getting money, ranging from a few $1,000s to $1 million. The Department of Education says many school buildings across South Carolina are older, and their infrastructure predates today's safety and security needs. Schools can use this money for upgrades, including new classroom door locks, bulletproof glass and film for windows, secure school entry points, and other safety technology. The Palmetto State Teachers Association is calling on lawmakers to prioritize school safety next year and wants to see the money for this grant program replenished.
We know from surveying our members that there are still 30+% of teachers in this state who cannot lock their classroom door from inside. That's something that is basic school safety 101.
And State Superintendent of Education Ellen Weaver wants to see another $20 million put toward this next year. It's part of her budget request, which lawmakers will start evaluating shortly after they return here next month. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
SLED also played a key role in this process. Agents visited districts that applied for money and consulted them about potential safety enhancements.
An Atlanta security guard who tried to help a woman who set herself on fire. The Biden administration announced some key staffers hired to serve as the South Carolina state leadership team in the first presidential primary. At the president's recommendation, the DNC voted to make South Carolina's Democratic presidential primary its very first. Scott Hereford will be Biden's South Carolina director. Clay Middleton and Jalissa Washington Price will be the senior advisors. Brady Garvin rounds out his team as an advisor. A warm fire is nice around the holidays, but not one like this. Look at it spread very quickly. This is a demonstration showing the differences between the Christmas tree on fire and the one, of course, that is not, is the one that's being watered regularly, and then, yeah, the one that's burning.
It spreads pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the dry one. Now, keeping the tree from being dry, that is one way to decrease the risk of burning up a real Christmas tree. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission also says candles are a potential hazard, along with cracked Christmas lights and frayed wires. Experts say there are about 160 Christmas decorating related injuries every day during the holidays.
We also see a lot of trips to the emergency room. We want people to actually get together, have fun, but to be safe.
Yeah, be safe. Safety advocates say when you buy a real Christmas tree, make sure that it is not already dry. And as for artificial trees, well, make sure that they are fire resistant. It doesn't mean they can't burn, because
some good advice
they
there.
do.
Absolutely. Well, some South Carolinians brought some holiday cheer to kids and their families in the hospital. We'll show you how coming up next, Riley.
And we have seen a beautiful day so far, hanging on to dry weather most days this week, but we are looking at some breezy conditions over the next couple. I'll look at the forecast coming up.
It's been more than 6 months since ambulance provider Central EMS moved into Augusta-Richmond County on an emergency midnight call, and now they're here at their permanent headquarters on Wrightsboro Road. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We're going to be checking in to their 6-month report that they're releasing to Augusta commissioners at tomorrow's meeting.
Time and temp. Brock. Or get 0.9% APR on select 2023 Sierra models. Plus, get $2,500 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
'Tis the season to put a smile on a child's face.
It's the Marine Corps Toys for Tots Drive, and News 12 is proud to be an official drop-off location.
Drop off a new unwrapped toy at our studios during normal business hours.
Make a child's holiday brighter with News 12 and Toys for Tots.
All right, welcome back as we take a live look at Olive Garden. Of course, you probably heard by now that they do have their official opening. It was today, and I think we saw a line forming before it even opened at 11 a.m. this morning.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's the breadsticks for me. Sorry, it is. And you know what? At 5:10, I'm already hungry for dinner, so I know a lot of you are too. And you know, whenever a new restaurant opens, I mean, even though we've had Olive Garden in Augusta, you just want to go because it's new.
It's new, yeah.
And everybody and their brother wants to go because it's new. So this is going to be very busy coming.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Costco isn't already busy, and Cabela's too, and Topgolf, and the movie theater.
We're going to see a lot more traffic in that
we
area
are.
is what we can see. But I think they were talking about having a traffic control device put in there eventually. Not sure what that is yet, but we'll have to see what happens.
It might just be you in a vest out there during the traffic. Well,
come on, free bread
breadsticks this
Yeah,
way?
we could put you in one of those traffic vests.
Talk about Olive Garden all day.
Yeah,
but
we could
Riley,
hit you on the traffic cam. We could see you in work.
And I know they just opened, but I mean, it's 5 o'clock on a Monday, and that parking lot's slap full. So, yeah, they got a lot of excitement there. Looking good. And weather-wise, no concerns if you're heading out this evening. We have a few high-level clouds just kind of lighting up with sunset here. A beautiful look down the Savannah River from our Thurman Dam cam. Nice conditions at the moment. Most of us are sitting in the 60s. We'll continue to just gradually fall into the 50s once we get an hour or two past sunset. Relatively mild the next couple of hours, but once we get into late tonight, we should be able to see our temps fall at least to near 40 by daybreak tomorrow morning. So a little bit of a chill to wake up to early tomorrow. We are going to see these temps anywhere from around 37 to 41 degrees. So need that jacket early, but later to the afternoon should be pretty nice. For Tuesday, we're expecting partly cloudy, mostly sunny skies during the day. High temperatures will be able to work their way into the 60s. That will happen between 12 and 5 tomorrow. So around lunchtime, we're close to 60, and then even by just 30 minutes before sunset tomorrow, we're still near 59. Tuesday, a little bit breezy at times, hanging on to a good steady west wind around 10 miles an hour. Could gust close to 15 at times Tuesday afternoon. The windier day is definitely going to be Wednesday. That's going to be thanks to a little bit stronger front pushing through tomorrow night, and that is going to bring us some wind gusts, possibly over 20 miles an hour during the day Wednesday. Here's a look at it. So this is our sustained wind, so not gusting, but sustained winds between 8 to 12 for your Tuesday afternoon, generally out of the west. Once that second front pushes through Tuesday night, this is where really gusty conditions start to come into play Wednesday. So anywhere sustained between 12 to 18 miles an hour during the day Wednesday, and that's wind direction is mainly going to be out of the north-northwest. So just kind of that colder flow for us, and that's what's going to be dropping our temperatures. By Thursday morning, we should be waking up just a little bit below freezing, most likely seeing low temps near 30 degrees, still close to freezing waking up Friday, and then we gradually see those temperatures warming up again heading into our weekend forecast. So throughout the day tomorrow, generally sunny skies early into the morning. We may see a few clouds build through around lunchtime. Very comfortable temperatures, though, most likely seeing those temps in the 60s between 1 and around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and just a little bit breezy at times out there tomorrow. Definitely going to be windier, though, Wednesday. You can see our temperatures will just be a little bit cooler Wednesday afternoon, most likely seeing those highs only reach the 50s instead of the 60s like what we're expecting out there tomorrow. Now, if you need to break up any leaves that continue to fall across the region, we do have a little bit of a breeze heading our way tomorrow and Wednesday, so I'll hold out until you get to Thursday. Likely going to see a lot more leaves fall down over the next couple of afternoons. Not much rain our forecast for the rest of the work week. Possibly a shower by this weekend. Don't cancel anything just yet.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Riley. The night sky lit up in the upstate Greenville area on Sunday as people decorated their cars with Christmas lights and waved flashlights.
Zach Perlusky has more on how they brought some holiday magic to kids and families at the Prisma Health Children's Hospital.
The south parking deck at Prisma Greenville Memorial Hospital transformed into a holiday light show.
With looking out from the windows up there, I was just in the hospital, and looking down on all of this, it's just an incredible sight.
The community decking out their cars, waving lights for these families.
For the about 75 families inside this children's hospital right now, these lights spreading a bit of holiday joy and cheer during an otherwise dark time.
This really does just kick off the holiday for us. It's just, again, showing support to our families that have to be here during this time, who might have a really lengthy stay or who might just be here for the night.
If we can come together as a community and put a smile on everyone's face, even if it's for 10 minutes, it's so worth it.
Jasmine Johnson is no stranger to the Prisma Health System. Her 10-year-old son has type 1 diabetes.
It is just so important to let everybody know that's in there that they're not alone.
Johnson and her 2 kids drove an hour from Gaffney to be part of Good Night Lights.
This is the most wonderful time of the year, so who really wants to be in the hospital?
Just a tremendous testament to the fact that as a community we care about our children and we care about our families.
And visitors said the Good Night Lights are starting to turn into a tradition on the first Sunday of December there in Greenville.
What a great tradition that is. It's a device meant to protect drivers from danger. Guardrails, they're everywhere on U.S. highways, but some say instead of saving lives, they're actually killing people. Tonight, we take a look at the dangers of problem guardrails, the devastation they can cause, and what can be done about it.
First Alert Radar. Accessories and your exclusive dealer for spray-on bed liners and accessories by Linex, located just across the river on the Aiken-Augusta Highway.
Guardrails are meant to protect drivers from danger, to keep them from falling off a road, or to cushion them in a wreck. They can reduce serious injuries by up to 47% when they're installed correctly.
But when they are not installed correctly, experts say they can turn from life-saving devices to killers on the road. Reporter Kristen Crawley shows us how big this problem is and how little is being done to fix it.
For most parents, it's easy to talk about their kids.
Well, he was a good-looking kid. He was a pretty good athlete. He was very smart.
But most parents haven't lost their child.
He was full of life.
Like Joey Beck did.
Why did it have to be him? I would rather have been me.
Seth Beck died in 2019 after crashing into a guardrail on a stretch of highway in Missouri. Crash scene photos from investigators show the mangled steel lying in the road. Seth's car, unrecognizable.
The top of the car was ripped right on the welds, like a can opener. So
From the guardrail.
From the guardrail went straight through, all the way out of his car.
Before your son's crash, had you ever heard of any issues of people dying after hitting guardrails?
No.
But some experts,
This one happens to be a case in Illinois
like attorney Kent Emerson,
where a man was killed.
who has handled more than a dozen guardrail injury and death cases, says it's more common than people realize.
This is the faceplate, the end terminal here, and where it elbowed and went through the car and killed a man.
Emerson says these cases span across the country where guardrails have speared vehicles, causing serious injuries like leg amputations, or worse, killing people.
Several people were killed in Missouri, near Columbia, Missouri, when the guardrail went right through a GM Tahoe.
And in many of those cases, he says the guardrails were installed improperly.
They need to understand the amount of technical finesse that goes into a guardrail design.
Ryan Kuhn is a crash reconstructionist who's inspected hundreds of guardrail crashes for attorneys and has a doctorate in engineering.
The problem with installation of guardrail is it looks like nuts and bolts and you just assemble it, but it actually does require training.
But the federal government does not require training and doesn't have standards for who can install or replace guardrails, saying that decision is up to the states.
Is it safe to say that there are tens of thousands of guardrails on the roads right now that are misinstalled?
At some level, yes.
Could the federal government do something to make guardrails safer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They could require more inspections. They could require more testing.
More inspections is exactly what a transportation research group urged the Federal Highway Administration to do, saying every guardrail should get a comprehensive in-service performance evaluation. That was back in 2014, and Emerson says that still hasn't happened.
How well known do you think this issue is among most Americans?
Almost no one's aware of it.
But the DOTs, they know.
They know.
The manufacturers know.
They know.
The FHWA knows.
They know. Absolutely.
And now, Joey Beck knows just how catastrophic this device meant for safety can be.
I always thought guardrails are there to protect you from your car rolling over here or going in the river.
Now what do you think about them when you see guardrails?
It's death.
The Federal Highway Administration, which is responsible for making sure our nation's roads are safe, declined to sit down for an interview with our national investigative team about the country's guardrail system and the calls for more inspections. It would only say that each state is responsible for its own roads.
Well, dry weather if you're stepping out this evening, and seasonal weather for tomorrow, but a little bit cooler outlook towards the middle of the week. I'm going to look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
There's always for 49.
Welcome back, folks. A beautiful look at sunset here from our Beach Island camera. We have a few clouds trying to move in from the west. These are very high up in the atmosphere and generally going to stay mostly clear for the rest of tonight. We do have a cold front that's going to be moving in over the next day or so, and that's going to keep our winds elevated. And then behind this front is where we're going to see our temperatures drop heading into the middle of the week. By tomorrow morning, we should be waking up close to 40 around sunrise, so still a little bit chilly out there. We'll most likely have to wait until Thursday morning before we do see lows back down below freezing. It should be close to freezing again, waking up by early Friday. Here's a look at our hour-by-hour forecast. So by daybreak tomorrow morning, maybe a few high-level clouds in our southern counties, but generally sunny skies for us here in Augusta. You can see a little bit cooler temps where we're cloud-free up towards the northern CS rate. That's where they're likely have a better bet for upper 30s. Throughout the day tomorrow, we'll see our highs work their way at least into near 60 degrees. Low 60s is what we're going with here in Augusta. Steady west wind about 8 to 12, but starting to get a lot gustier once we get into Wednesday. You can see that wind direction changing. Out of the northwest, that's going to keep our temperatures much cooler than average, most likely in the upper 50s. Throughout the next couple of days, though, we're hanging on to plenty of dry weather, sunshine, all the way through Thursday.
All right, thanks, Riley. More than 10 lawsuits have been filed against Southern Health Partners in Aiken County. More on a wrongful death lawsuit against SHP coming up next as News 12 Live at 5 continues.
Watch WRDW News at 5:30 weekdays for What the Tech. Sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School, leading the CSRA in STEM education.
iPhone 15